Hello and welcome to the big picture. In an unprecedented series of events, the Election Commission of India finds itself challenged like never before. The West Bengal Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee refused to implement the transfer of 5 SPs and 1 district magistrate despite the Election Commission ordering it, and now is demanding that they be replaced by officials of her choice. This act of defiance by a state government and its chief minister is unprecedented and has put the commission in a tricky situation. What are the options before the commission now? If the state government continues to defy it, can the commission accede to the demand of the state government to replace the officials with their choice of officials? Is the election commission losing its hold as the TV channels defied it yesterday while telecasting live the release of BJP manifesto? We will discuss all this today with Saugata, the Trinamool Congress candidate for the Lok Sabha elections and a former union minister who will be on the phone line from Kolkata. Tapan, CPIM MP in the Rajya Sabha. Nalin, Kohli, BJP spokesperson, will be joining us soon. Noor, Mohammad, former Deputy Election Commissioner in the Central Election Commission, and Jayanta, Ghosal, editor, Ananda, Bazaar, Patrika. Welcome to all of you. Mr. Saugata, I would like to come to you first.
Yes.
I mean, this is being seen as an unprecedented act by a state government. What are the reasons? How can a state government defy the election commission like this? What are the grounds on which such defiance is taking place, Mr. Roy?
The question is simply this, that the election commission under Article 324 has the charge of looking after elections, superintendence, control, etc., etc.
Yes.
The duties of certain officials are deputed to the election commission. But that is not the only duty that they do. For instance, the election commission has shifted 1 district magistrate, 2 additional district magistrates, and 5 SPs. Now, while election is going on, it doesn't mean that all other law and order problems have come to a stop. The ordinary law and order problem, Maoist problem, has to be taken care of. But the election commission did not.
Yes.
Did not decide to even consult, inform the state government before taking such an action. Hence, the decision of the election commission is whimsical, peremptory, and sudden. For instance, take the removal of the SP of West Midnapur, which contains the Maoist areas. Now the SP is suddenly removed. If there is a resurgence of Maoist activity, election commission will not.
No, Mr. Roy, sorry, Mr. Roy, sorry for intervening, Mr. Roy. The election commission has given a list of officials who will be replacing those officials who have to be transferred. It is not that these positions will be left unoccupied. How
that shifting or transfer of officials is a matter of the state government. Election commission only looks after the election part. But election part is not everything.
No, Mr.
What
Roy.
about normal life?
Mr.
What
Roy, are you?
Maoist activity?
Mr. Roy.
What about managing law and order, theft, dacoity, murder?
Mr. Roy.
Problems.
Sorry.
The election commission will not look after that.
No, Mr. Roy.
Law and order is under the state.
Mr. Roy.
Responsible?
Mr. Roy, can I intervene, please? Does it mean that the West Bengal government, your chief minister, is questioning and challenging the authority of the election commission to transfer officials during the election process?
No, election commission is not God. If they wanted to do that, they could have asked the state chief secretary that this is the complaint we have received. What is the action that you suggest? The chief secretary could have suggested something.
Okay.
The election commission is not about. What are you talking about? The constitution. The constitution gives power to the election commission. It also gives power to the state government.
So,
under which the law and order is a state subject.
Today
the state government has written again to the election commission to reconsider their decision.
Yes.
They have transferred the district magistrate of my own district, North 24 Parganas. For what reason? They are not there, do not show cause, they do not give normal opportunity to people to defend themselves.
Okay.
They suddenly take an action. In
Okay,
fact,
your
West
point
Bengal
taken.
elections have not started.
Your point
Not
taken.
24 Parganas, the filing of nominations will start.
Your
on
point
17th
taken,
of
Mr.
April.
Point taken, Mr. Roy. Let me get the former Deputy Election Commissioner, Mr. Noor Mohammad here. Mr. Noor Mohammad, what are the powers of the Election Commission in such situations? Transfer of officials, are they obligated to consult the state government?
I'll come to the constitutional position to begin
Yes.
with. The Constitution in Article 324, it clearly provides that President or the Governor of the state shall, when so requested by the Election Commission, make available to Election Commission such staff as may be necessary.
Yes.
Now, this is the legal provision.
Right.
Then later on in the Act, RP Act 1951, section 28A, it is very clearly says that all those election officers, including returning officer, which is district magistrate most of the time, and police officers, they all will be on deputation with the Election Commission, which means Election Commission has got the authority to transfer them to even
To use them as it deems fit.
Yeah, this is one point.
Yes.
The second, this is legal position in the Constitution as well as in the law. The second issue is, of course, the Election Commission has got a very limited time to deliver a very free and fair election.
Right.
We expect that it should be error free, it should be free and fair, and it should look free and fair.
Right.
Now, if it is not done, it is not so, then political parties may not be accepting the result itself.
Right.
It will be very disastrous.
Right.
And fortunately, till now, Election Commission's result has been accepted by the political parties, and we had government after government. Now, issue is
Yes.
just one point. Issue is that if there is an official or there are officers against whom there are so many people who are objecting, they have some complaints, and complaints is looked into, it is inquired into, and then some essence, some evidence is
If
found.
there is some prima facie,
Something is found, and then the Election Commission takes, okay, these people are there.
these are not random decisions taken.
This is not random decision. This is not.
These are all well thought out decisions
well thought
after
out
proper
decision.
inquiry.
It has to be like that. Otherwise,
After proper inquiry.
it has to be like that. Otherwise,
Not it has to be like that. Is it like that?
no. Proper inquiry is a word which can be interpreted in many ways.
Right.
Here, Election Commission basically works on does a summary disposal of such complaints, and in summary disposal, if prima facie case is made out, then just to ensure that others don't doubt the result that comes out of the election.
Okay. Tapan Sen,
Yeah.
the argument of Mr. Saugata Roy is Election Commission is not God. If there is any problems in the district and these Maoist affected areas and things like that, who is going to take responsibility? You can't, and without consultation, how can they transfer officials?
I think he is trying to defend the indefensible, something indefensible. It is a fact, constitutional provision is that just now it's been told by Mr. Noor Mohammad, the entire administration goes under the control of Election Commission, and there they have the right to transfer or replace or whatever it may be. Transfer is not a punishment.
Right.
So I don't think the whole argument of giving a time to explain himself or defend himself does not and cannot arise. So the thing is that the Election Commission, it is wisdom, has taken some decision. I may disagree with that. There are occasions also in the past
Yes.
that the ruling government expressed displeasure over some of the decisions of this kind of decision.
Your
But
government,
you just cannot defy.
your government has done that.
You cannot defy. You may criticize, but you cannot defy the decision that I will challenge, I will not implement. That way, he is trampling underfoot the basic constitution itself, under the which his state government is running, under which he is the chief minister.
Okay.
This is something. It is a scant disrespect to the democracy, and this is quite natural of this government, because if you see, after this government came into power and after the different things are taking place, it's a whole anarchic raj is going on.
Okay.
And it is out of that. And right from the day election is announced, the scores of complaints are pouring into the Election Commission even before Mr. Jutsi visited the state. So I think all taken together, there is basic reason for Election Commission to look that they are impartial. They have to take certain important decisions.
Okay.
to
Okay,
make
Nalin.
election understandable.
Okay, Nalin
So
Kohli.
that way, it is something wrong that
Okay.
Trinamool government is doing.
Okay, Nalin Kohli, how do you look at this? Is this something which your party would approve of? You think that this kind of the argument of the Trinamool Congress is that they should have been consulted. Such arbitrary, what they call as arbitrary decisions cannot be taken. The state government ultimately holds responsibility for the law and order situation.
I have a few comments to make.
Yes.
In the first case, this is not the first time that the Election Commission is seeking the transfer of officials in a state. It happens from time to time in various states. Second is, the Constitution involves specific rights and duties and responsibilities on every segment of our total governance setup. The election is not an ordinary process. It's an important process, and the Constitution clearly empowers the Election Commission to do so, that a free and fair and peaceful election is held. So there is a supremacy of the Election Commission, as I understand it. And I think, as the gentleman from the Election Commission, Mr. Noor Mohammad, was saying, that is exactly how he explained it too. To say that the Election Commission is God, actually nobody is God when election is happening. Everyone have their rights and this, but it's not a normal law and order situation, as the Trinamool Congress would like us to believe. This is basically the primacy of elections, and if there are complaints or if the Election Commission has reason to believe that there is not going to be a free and fair election, or it could not be appearing to be free and fair, they can certainly, I think, invoke their powers, because after all, at this point of time, whether it is the central government or it is respective state governments, no one has supremacy over the Election Commission.
Okay.
So I think we need to respect it. However, at the same time, it is important that we do not have clash between the various institutions in our constitutional framework. So whatever can be done should be done in a harmonious level without trampling on each other's, but whoever has the final say, that has to be respected.
You know, when you're saying without trampling on each other, do you think that there is, are you trying to suggest that there is a certain amount of trampling by the Election Commission in this case?
No, I have not said that. I have said it is important for a harmonious relationship and for everyone to show that respect for the entire due constitutional process. So we can't individualize it. I think the Trinamool Congress is erring in the way they are approaching this subject, in terms of A, making it a frontal attack on the Election Commission, and 2, taking it so personally. Because I think the Trinamool Congress would have also invoked similar arguments when they were complaining against malpractice when the left front government was there.
Absolutely.
So this is part of the democratic process.
Okay.
We need to respect that, because we all are out of that democratic process.
Okay.
We come and we grow with that democratic process.
Okay. Jayanta, how do you look at this? Is this, is this a problem between the old problem which Mamta Banerjee always has with the left front? Why is she defying in such manner? What is she expecting to get out of it, especially during an election season?
No, you see, now I think it is now going towards constitutional crisis.
Yes.
Election Commission is the authority when the election is taking place. And election, this process of democracy, I mean, you should respect to the order of the Election Commission. And what Nalin also said, that just few days back in Uttar Pradesh, 44 officials transferred.
Right.
Election Commission did it.
Yes.
In Odisha, 4 officials. In Chennai, the police commissioner shifted.
Yes.
So no chief minister reacted against Election Commission.
Right.
So now in West Bengal, why she is reacting? This is number one. And she has said that I will not follow the order.
Yes.
So now the Chief Secretary has sent a letter to the Election Commission saying that Chief Minister has advised me not to implement this. So now Election Commission has to take a final call, and they can postpone the election of those districts. I don't know what is the constitutional implication, but what you are asking, that why
is she doing what is the provocation?
I'm saying this, that now opposition parties met Election Commissioner one day back.
Right.
And they made some allegations. On the basis of some apprehensions, Election Commission has done it. So now CPM and the opposition parties are saying that dal mein kuch kala hai. So there must be something That's why she is reacting. That is a reasonable allegation made by the oppositions. But I only one thing, I have a question. The Chief Minister said that they didn't consult me.
Yes.
I don't know because Chief Electoral Officer was there and Chief Secretary, Election Commission sources are saying that they consulted with Chief Secretary and Chief Electoral Officer they informed.
Yes.
I don't know the constitutional provision that Mr. Noor Mohammad can guide us that whether the consultation was necessary or whether Election Commission does it, this transfer of officials with the consent of the Chief Minister and the state government. I don't know.
Mr. Noor Mohammad, we want clarity on that.
In fact, this position is that when the election is declared, the state government issues an order placing all the officials on deputation with the election commission. All the police officers, right from DGP, right to the constable.
Right.
Now, once they are on deputation, then shifting is basically election commission's commission's hand.
I mean, there is actually no written clarity as far as this issue is concerned, but it's presumed.
of clarity.
It is written clarity.
but
It's clear. It's
No, it is
clear.
written
The
clarity.
election commission is supreme in an election
Absolutely,
process.
but it is- but
But
it
there
is-
is no dilution of that and
Yes,
no
Nalin.
confusion.
No, but
It is written-
but Mr. Mohammad is there? So it's presumed that there is no need for consultation.
No, concentration is not necessary at all because
I
once you
think
have,
it is
once
like
you
a
have, once
transfer of governor
No.
or recruitment governor. I mean, you
don't
can
have to- you
talk
don't-
to the chief
you can-
minister.
you need to
But
inform.
if chief minister says no, in spite of that, center can transfer a governor.
No, if the
So it's
entire,
like that.
the entire police administration is on deputation with the election commission, then it is basically under the hands.
So so what you're saying is there's no need for consultation.
no need of consultation.
Mr.
Only-
Saugata Roy, the question is that whether there is no need for consultation. This has happened in many other, like Jayanta was just pointing out, it has happened in UP, it's happened in Tamil Nadu, it's happened in other states also very recently in the last few days, and none of the other governments have defied this. None of the governments have raised questions which your government seems to be raising, and so it's giving room for suspicion that there is something. Why is it that five SPs have become so important to this government and one district magistrate?
Firstly, I do not want to learn constitution of the law, either from Mr. Nuruddin or Mr. Jayanta Ghosal or Tapan. It is very surprising that Tapan, whose leader Jyotiwas, who had called PM session a mad dog, has now become a great defender of the power of the state, of the election commission. I am very surprised. I am also surprised that Jayanta Ghosal is finding Dal mein kuch kala hai. I don't know what his personal line is. The fact is that most opinion polls and surveys are saying that Trinamool Congress is way ahead of other parties in elections to West Bengal.
Mr. Roy, that is not the point at all.
Please listen to me.
No, that's not the point whether you are ahead or behind. That's not the point. How can you, when other states are following the orders of the election commission, why is it that you people are defying
follow
it?
Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. It's a strange logic you are giving.
Yes.
West Bengal has its own principles and the state government may take its own view. We are not bound by the precedences set by Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh as if they are the best administered states in the country. Didn't Muzaffarnagar happen in UP?
Mr. Roy, 1 minute. Mr. Roy, I'm sorry. You are one of the most experienced parliamentarians we have had. You are one of the more, sober voices we hear in the parliament. What you are saying today is that the West Bengal has its own way of looking at things. If every state government starts asserting like this, you having been a very responsible member of parliament, I'm sure you understand what kind of anarchy will result in that.
But I do not like the way the election commission is going about. For the last 1 month, officials under the instruction of the election commission are pulling down our posters, banners, hoardings from all over the state. I have sent several protests to the election commission. They think that it is in their right to interpret laws in their own way. They just pull down because some CPM complained, and we have got a hoarding on a public thoroughfare they pull it down.
Mr.
We
Mr.
are not
Roy,
even putting
Mr.
up-
Roy,
please listen
Mr.
to
Roy,
me.
this is happening. I mean, I'm sure this is happening in
Girish.
other places also, in
I
other
don't know
states
why
also.
are you giving
I mean, why is
examples
it?
of other places?
Why do you think
I
that this is
can
happening
only
only
take
in
up
your
my
state
case.
and with your party?
No, I can only take up my case. I can only lodge my objection.
This has
It is
happened
not
earlier
that
also.
I am in a court of law where I have to cite other precedents.
Okay.
I'm again saying that the Election Commission has put the law and order in West Bengal in jeopardy by
Okay.
suddenly transferring these police officials and transferring the district magistrate of North 24 Parganas, against whom there is no complaint earlier.
Mr.
There is no breakdown of law and order in those states.
Mr.
Election Commission has
Mr.
put
Roy,
West Bengal in danger.
Mr.
They
Roy,
have
my
to take
question.
the responsibility.
Okay, Mr. Roy, my question to you now. Now that your government has taken this stand, is it ready for any consequences it will have to face
No,
following the
the
stand which you have
Election
taken?
Commission wants to postpone or cancel elections altogether in West Bengal. It is their call. But they are not above the constitution. They are not supermen. They are just retired IAS officials. They are not even judicial persons. They cannot take any decision overriding the decision of the duly constitutionally elected government.
Okay.
The state government has taken a view. The Election Commission can now enter into consultation. But to think that their powers are so absolute and so supreme
Okay.
that they can override
Okay.
the functions of a constitutionally elected state government is asking for
Okay,
too much. Let me
okay,
make that quite clear.
your point taken, Mr. Roy.
Thank you.
Tapan,
What shall I say, Girish?
Tapan, what do you think should be the stand of the Election Commission now?
What shall I say, bhai? Our constitution is a written constitution, and at least the written provision in this concern regard is very clear. I again repeat, I can express displeasure on some of the decision, but I cannot defy that.
No.
Defying that is undermining democracy, and
Tapan,
defying
that is
that
all-
means authoritarianism.
No, Tapan, we have
So
discussed that.
election commission must take a call and exercise its right.
No, my question is, what is it that you people would demand now if the state government of West Bengal continues to defy the orders of the Election Commission? What is it
Problem
that
is
you people
I
would be demanding?
I don't understand. Constitution provides the measures.
Okay, Constitution.
The police, the concerned
I have
officials
two comments to
are
make.
already placed under the superintendence of the election commission.
Okay, you don't want to.
So they can implement it.
So you don't want to specify what kind of action needs to be taken. Fine.
They can order it.
Okay, fine.
The
Nalin,
thing is that this is a dangerous trend of authoritarianism,
absolutely.
which is coming to fore.
Okay.
Most
Nalin,
unfortunate in our democratic process.
Nalin,
Yes.
what is it that you think the Election Commission, what are the options before the Election Commission? What do you think that the
The
Election
Election
Commission
Commission has only one option, that
Yes.
is to conduct free and fair elections to uphold the sovereignty of India and ensure that the democratic process gets its due credit. That's all. And for that, whatever it is vested with its powers, it will invoke it.
Okay.
Whether an elected government likes it or not. Second, I find it fascinating. Unfortunately, the Trinamool Congress is making this a personal fight. The Trinamool Congress itself has been, for a long time struggling against the left front domination in West Bengal. And we do know that there was a lot of subversion of the administrative process during the left front government. Now, when the Trinamool Congress is in the reverse order.
Nalin, let us not get into that. Mr. Noor Mohammad, what are the options before the Election Commission now?
Now, as this has been mentioned that Election Commission's duty is to do free and fair elections.
Right.
If in opinion of the Election Commission, the election that will be conducted will not look free and fair.
Yes.
It will not be in the eyes of the opposition parties and so many other parties. Then of course, the Election Commission I think has only one option, is to postpone it.
Postpone the elections.
And do it later on. I mean, Election Commission cannot say will not hold election, but it can always fix time.
What happens if the state government even later continues to defy the Election Commission? That we have not been able, we have not gone into that territory so far.
I don't want to go that far, but what I am trying to say is that in the Constitution itself, it is written that the President or the Governor will provide staff such staff as may be necessary. Now, Election Commission says this is the staff I
So
want.
far, I don't think, so far there was no confusion on this matter, Jayanta. There was, every government, they had problems as Tapan was pointing out, as you, in the past when the left front government was there were such incidents,
you.
left front governments were, objecting to it and all,
and we
but
are
nobody,
not-
no one has defined.
We are not.
objected. We criticized at the time of TN Shah.
Yes, yes.
But we never defied.
Yes.
Girish, I just want to
could
mention
not
one
defy
small
it.
thing, that we are not going, what will be the result, who will win.
Who will- that is
irrelevant
immaterial.
for election commission.
Absolutely.
And as a media person,
Yes.
I am not bothered with who will win. But the question is, when Jyoti Basu was chief minister, and Saugata mentioned that Jyoti Babu reacted against TN session, and that time Trinamool Congress demanded lot of transfers of officials in different districts.
Right.
And just go on the record, several officials transferred
Were
that
transferred.
time also.
Were transferred.
When CPM was ruling party.
Right.
Now, after the election, we saw that CPM won the election. And Trinamool Congress said that this is scientific rigging
Rigging,
took place.
yes.
But TN Session, when he transferred, when he took action, Jyoti Basu was reacting. Even Lalu also faced the same thing.
Absolutely.
I just remember, you just
Yes,
remember
yes,
what
yes.
happened with Lalu.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
after that, Lalu actually just won the election. I mean, in a major
Right.
support of his vote bank. So that time, opposition was confused. Opposition couldn't say.
Absolutely.
But the
Mr.
election commission, whether
Mr. Saugata Roy-
Trinamool Congress can coming with a major success. I am not talking about that.
Okay, no, no,
And
no.
I am-
When we
I cannot say anything on constitutional wisdom to Saugata. Rather, I want to know the constitution. What is the constitutional wisdom from Saugata?
Yeah, okay.
Is it
let,
correct?
let us get Mr. Saugata Roy. If this is the point, that when you were in opposition, you were making allegations against the left front government, and when the election commission was transferring officials, obviously without consulting them, and because the left front government had a lot of complaints about them, you did not have a problem. Now suddenly, when you, how can you turn around and say that when we are in government, such actions cannot be taken? Okay, I think we have lost Mr. Saugata Roy. Mr. Noor Mohammad, so you think that the only option left before the election commission, if such defiance continues, is
One thing could
postponement
be
of the
to call
election?
the chief secretary and really understand what are the nuances, why it is happening, and to go a little more, because election commission takes decision on a summary inquiry.
Right.
So because they don't have time to go into full-fledged.
So now,
inquiry.
you think that a full-fledged inquiry needs to be done now before
No, it's
any
not.
such drastic action of
No,
postponing the election needs to take
It's not
place?
possible also, because election commission doesn't have much time to have a full-fledged inquiry. Only
Okay.
thing is that they can they consult the immediate officer, CEO, and I think chief secretary have already been taken into confidence while taking this
Absolutely.
decision. But
Tapan, very quick last words to you. Your party will have no problem if the elections are postponed?
No, we don't want any postponement of the election.
But
And all this drama is being done only to take political mileage by this government, which wants to disrupt, sabotage the whole electioneering process to manufacture support in their favor.
Okay.
This is a very ugly design
Okay.
being engineered by the state government.
Okay, Nalin,
So that
your
ugliness
party will
need
not
to
have
be
a problem.
exposed.
It is not about problem it is not about problem, it is not about benefit. It is just that the due process of the election process has to be followed. And
if that
everyone
means-
has to abide about
and if
it.
that means postponement of the elections, your party will have no problems with that.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to talk of a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
Let the election commission decide.
Okay,
And
on
whatever
that-
it has
okay.
to for free and fair elections has to be done.
Okay, I think on that note we need to end, completely run out of time. But as we heard from all our panelists, apparently the only option left for the election commission at this point of time seems to be to postpone the elections unless the state government, the West Bengal government, decides to come down and then agree to accept the order of the election commission. We'll wait and watch what will happen. The election commission, now the ball is in the court of the election commission. We'll wait and see what decision it will take. Thanks to all my guests, Mr. Noor Mohammad, Jayanta, Ghosal. Tapan Sen and Nalin Kohli and Mr. Saugata Roy who had joined us earlier. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue, big picture, same time tomorrow.